Be warned, this video will contain spoilers. In Ncis, Tony and Ziva, the story has been slowly building toward the big reveal of who's really pulling the strings behind everything that happened to Tony and Ziva. But episode the 4th of May have just given away a key twist, not by revealing who the villain is, but by showing us who it can't be. And for fans who've been convinced that Henry Rayner-Hunt was the mastermind, this episode threw a serious curveball. The first few episodes made it so easy to point fingers at Henry. His Tony's longtime friend, someone who Ziva has always been wary of, and his ties to Interpol made him look even guiltier. On top of that, when Henry stepped into the role of acting Secretary General after Markham's disappearance, it only deepened the suspicion. The writing clearly wanted us to wonder whether Henry was betraying Tony, which would have been devastating given how close Henry was to both Tony and Taylor. But episode 4 completely shifted the narrative during that chaotic wedding sequence. Remember how Henry stumbled across Ziva disguised as the bride? His shock was genuine. He wasn't expecting her to be there, and his reaction to her accusations about setting them up didn't match someone who had been orchestrating things from the shadows. If anything, he seemed just as lost as Ziva was angry. And then there was Martine. The second Henry entered that church, Martine became visibly uncomfortable. She was practically scrambling to avoid being seen, and the moment she could, she bolted. If Henry were her boss, wouldn't she have expected him to show up? Instead, her panic suggested she was hiding something from him. These two moments, happening separately but aligning in meaning, almost rule Henry out as the big bad. What's fascinating is how this complicates things for Tony and Ziva. For a brief moment, it looked like they'd uncovered their betrayer, a villain they actually knew, someone they could anticipate. But if Henry isn't behind the crimes, then the person pulling the strings is still in the shadows, and that's far more dangerous. The mission might have given them a win with the 9.4 device and proof of Martine's involvement, but in the bigger picture, it just made the mystery deeper. The episode ended with Tony and Ziva still believing Henry's their enemy, which makes the coming chapters even more tense. Episode 5, especially with their hunt for Markham, could finally peel back the curtain on who's really in charge. But for now, Henry's surprise and Martine's discomfort are clues we can't ignore. What do you think? Do you buy that Henry is innocent? Or do you think this is all just misdirection before the series hits us with a bigger betrayal? I'd love to hear your theories in the comments. Who do you think the real villain is?